will a medical doctor work for 9 months, 16 months, 19 months without getting paid?
But you see how much kidnappers are taking from victims.
My thing is, government will all the stakeholders will need to get that, and I think we get that. The 3% for the oil producing community is too low.
But the support that is needed. And once you get the support, your energy will blossom.
This is Nigeria. You need to give people sense of belonging.
Good morning, viewers. Welcome to the Friday edition of Inside Nigeria. My name is Bode Gbadebo, and of course, as usual on a Friday like this, we have our regular Friday analyst, Majid Dairu. Majid, welcome to Inside Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
Though you have been away for about 3 weeks now. Thank God you are back. And you are back without any package.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, viewers, as usual, we should take you through what the front pages are saying and as well have a discussion about the trending and matter issue of the day. Without much ado, let's start with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, The Leadership. On the front page of Leadership this morning, suspense in PDP as Atiku Wike camps meets today. Suspense in PDP as Atiku Wike camps meets today. Party members worried over delay in constitution of campaign council. BOT warns party leaders against unguarded utterances. And of course, the last rider to the story says, "We are ready for truce," say Wike's loyalists. We are ready for truce, say Wike's loyalists. I don't know how true it is, Mr. Majid, because at every given opportunity, you see Governor Yeson Wike of Rivers talking about PDP, talking about Atiku, talking about people with fake electoral value, talking about this, talking about that, talking about somebody trying to block it from bringing something. I don't know how true is this assertion, according to his loyalists, that they are actually ready for truce once and for all.
I think they are ready. I think everybody wants to be relevant in the scheme of things. And
Okay, that informed this.
of course,
Big
grandstanding.
bad, yeah,
we
grandstanding.
witnessed, since the primaries took place. But I think that the presidential candidate of the PDP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, should have, foreseen this likely escalation in the camp of this major challenger, even ahead of the primaries, to have put in place certain mechanisms to contain, the negative fallout, and so as to resolve the issues quickly and put the PDP on a strong footing into the next election. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened, and that didn't happen, and it has lingered up until this point. But hopefully, after today's meeting, we are hoping that both parties that are involved in this contestation.
All right, it's a good one that you express. You are optimistic about truce in the PDP. But let me tell you something. One of the conditions reportedly given by the Wike camp is that the PDP national chairman, Dr. Yochai Ayu, must go, and they call it irreducible minimum. Do you foresee this happening at all?
Well, for me, nothing should be too big sacrifice
For
for
peace.
the presidential aspiration of the main opposition party. I actually think that the call for the party chairman to step down by the Wike camp became imperative because of what the Wike people saw as his partisan role in the primary election. Particularly his utterances when he visited Ambua 24 hours later.
Describing him as the hero of the convention.
That was.
Why would you do that?
But Wike
Was there a premeditated plan?
Exactly. And Wike should have been the person to be described as the hero of the primaries.
As the runner-up?
Because you are going to need him this much, considering what Wike did for the party in the last 7 years. You see, you may not like Wike's face, or you may not enjoy the sound of his voice, but Wike,
or his dancing step. He has.
But I think I love his dancing steps. But Wike
with a particular trademark song.
Honestly,
as he dey sweet us, he dey pain them.
Wike has become a phenomenon in Nigerian politics, whether anybody likes it or not. But Wike is a very, very committed PDP member. PDP had wicked opportunity of coming from the PDP to the APC.
How committed? For selfish gain or for
Let me say
collective victory of the
for
party?
collective victory, because most people don't know this. Wike was not initially interested in being the president of Nigeria. Wike actually came out to contest for the ticket of the PDP when it looked that it was looking like the prospective aspirant from the south could not challenge Atiku for the ticket.
And against the backdrop that there are agitation,
and
the
he
power
was
to
part
return
of
to the south.
Asaba
Declaration of the Southern Governors Forum.
Exactly. In fact, Wike was one of the architects of that design. And so you will understand why Wike took it upon himself to fulfill that aspiration. So, and if you look at it critically, I keep saying something. In 2019, Wike supported Tambuwal to be president. And Wike threw in all his best, everything he had into that contest to make Tambuwal president, including defying former military president of Nigeria, Ibrahim Babangida, who then asked the governors of the PDP to rally around Atiku. Even he sent an envoy to the political primaries, Ali Gusho. Ali Gusho put a phone call through to Babangida, and Wike told Babangida that, sir, I won't do Atiku, I will do Tambuwal. The problem between Wike and the former PDP chairman, Secondus, started from that primary. Because the role, seemingly, that IU played in this primary
was the same thing.
No, was not the role the other man played.
Okay, so he had to pay for his actions.
Primaries, 2019 primaries.
Yes.
Secondus, of course, a very experienced party man, was very neutral.
Oh.
If he was neutral, he would have tilted the balance in favor of the man.
Weakest person at
So Wike expected that kind of favor from him.
So he punished him for that.
That was the beginning of the crisis.
I'm getting this.
Now, but what Secondus did, saved the party, gave the party a very credible primary election.
It's very, very good.
Yes.
Unlike what happened here.
Now, even though the primaries here was still free and but something happened.
Just actions and utterances.
Something happened that showed some level of complicity. Tambuwal was a beneficiary of Wike's support in 2019.
So what happened in 2022?
In 2020, that's in 2019, once Tambuwal lost elections, Wike dust up,
And he was the runner-up?
Wike gave a very massive, unprecedented level of support economic can give to the president. Practical. I know this because I played an insider role. In fact, Wike calls it logistic support. It's beyond logistics. It's not that as a governor you can explain where you're getting some support from to give to an aspirant. But in the Nigerian sense of it, Wike was perhaps the single largest donor to the PDP presidential election effort in 2019, especially among the governors forum of the party. And he delivered the state in a manner that denied the APC 25%. It was Wike. Atiku had more vote and performed better in Rivers than he did in our states. Where Atiku lost his polling unit and his ward.
But he won the state.
He won the state, and if you look at where the part of
Adamawa,
where Atiku won the vote that gave him the head, the winning vote, it came from quote unquote the Christian dominated areas of Adamawa, where Senator Shaka emerged from as a senator on the PDP platform.
APC. Oh, okay, PDP.
PDP.
Yeah, before defecting.
Yes. So those are the dynamics. So when in the build up to the 2020 election, the middle belt people of Northern Nigeria, where Atiku won in the 2020 election, the places like Taraba, Benue, Plateau, and even Adamawa itself. Alongside southern leaders said, okay, it is turn of the south. If Atiku was not to contest, there will be no problem. But for two major beneficiaries of southern support in 2019, one at the primary Tambuwal and one at the general election, Atiku, to now conspire to
call the bluff of the south
and deny the leading southern candidate from the south the ticket of the PDP is something that should,
and the VP plots and the VP slots
is something that should get people worried really. So I had expected that, knowing that this was something that was like a political taboo of some sort, something that would be perceived as treachery, you should have put in place mechanisms immediately to contain this. Look, there are sound arguments for an Atiku presidency in 2023, very sound. Beyond the north-south
For me, it's all expediency.
There are some very good reasons why an Atiku can be president. And I related saying in one of my articles, I said, look, Nigeria is in need of restructuring. Atiku is one northerner that has pledged restructuring at the risk of your political career in a region that do not want to hear something about restructuring. Atiku has said so consistently. And I'll show the roadmap towards restructuring. Atiku Abubakar too is from the north. You see, two of Nigeria's most debilitating security challenges is from the north. One has to do with killer herdsmen of mostly Fulani ethnicity. The other one has to do with, which is Boko Haram, has to do with the Muslim, not Islamic, the Muslim religion. Atiku comes from these two demographics. So Atiku have the legitimacy to wield the necessary force to crush these people without any form of backlash.
Convince them.
And go ahead to restructure, which is a more lasting solution to all the problems we are having.
The party leadership.
All of that. So Atiku has something to campaign with.
Rather surprisingly or strangely, he has kept quiet.
He has kept quiet because I suspect also that Atiku right now is trying to appeal to his northern base.
In the first place.
In the first place to eat. And what the truth is, if you win with that kind of support, you are not likely to now do that I've just enumerated. Because you'll be hamstrung. So Atiku needs to sit down and explain to the South, which has been the most consistent supporters of the PDP, why he should be trusted with the presidency. Is this meeting with Wike and Wike group today should not be about vice presidency, senate presidency, minister, or SGF. That's not the problem. Go there today and convince Wike and Shoko on why an Atiku presidency is best for all Nigerians, including Southerners and Northerners. Enumerate this framework on what Atiku is likely to do, even if he does not campaign on some of those issues, but get this like a confidential briefing, get them to understand what you want to do. And why you are so passionate about doing it to the extent that you decide to violate zoning. Admit it that you violated zoning. But there's an expediency that may supersede zoning in this instance. Explain it like that. Don't make it look like there was no zoning in the first place and that it's right to violate zoning. No. Because the main support base of the PDP is still in the south.
Exactly. And
in the middle belt.
You're right.
So you cannot lose this region in search of
the uncertainty
of the Muslim North that the APC is firmly in control of.
This is very, very fantastic analysis. Honestly, even I myself got some fresh perspectives about the leadership, the PDP crisis ahead of the election. I think leadership is right to say suspense in PDP as Atiku Wike comes me today, because we cannot say
something very important. It's also
the riders.
The riders there. One of which says party leaders urged against unguided utterances.
That's another problem.
You see, people like Shule Lamido, people like Aliyu Abangida of Niger State, and others like that, are not supposed to, under any condition, no matter what Wike says, you do not respond. Okay. If you must respond, it must be conciliatory and apologetic. You cannot talk down on Wike. It's not about Wike. I, for one, did not consider Wike presidential material enough to go to that contest. But that is a different ball game. He happens to be the leading candidate from the South. Leading. He embodies the Southern aspiration in the PDP, whether you like it or not.
You're right.
And so you should understand that when you talk about Wike, it's not Wike alone that you're talking down on, it's talking about the entire southern part of this country. But luckily for Atiku, he has a lot of support also from the same South. He has a lot of support because they see him as a detribalized Nigerian, as a pan-Nigerian nationalist.
Sure.
But he's no longer leveraging on that. He appears to be appealing to a base. And in appealing to that base, he doesn't want to be seen to be also kowtowing or, beholding to the southern flank of the party. So Atiku should remain consistent as a nationalist. Bring up a pan-Nigerian solution to the Nigerian problem and see if Nigerians will wave aside their ethnic, religious, and geographical differences to rally around him as the national consensus, which is achievable. Yeah. This meeting in Port Harcourt today is key to that.
Yeah. Okay, it's taking place in Port Harcourt.
Today.
Okay, it's good. It's a good one. And I think our papers this morning are balanced, from politics, education, economy, and security.
Yes.
And these are the issues facing Nigeria as core issues. I think the only thing missing on the papers today is the issue of national integration and unity. Yes. We don't have such headline. Now let's quickly go to the second newspaper on our menu this morning, and that is the THISDAY newspaper on the front page of this day. It's about the economy. Oil thefts, arrest of 3 million barrel capacity super tanker reflects scale of crisis, according to the THISDAY newspaper. Arrest of 3 million barrel capacity super tanker reflects scale of crisis, as I'm talking about oil theft, which is making our economy to be bleeding. Navy confirms chasing suspicious vessel into Equatorial Guinea, says crude oil ship failing attack by sea pirates. And of course, the last rider says 16 Indians, 8 Sri Lankans, 1 Pole Filipino found aboard facility. Mr. Majid, you can imagine 3 million barrel capacity super tanker arrested. Oil theft, Nigeria only.
Well coordinated.
It's an organized crime.
It's more than organized.
And our people keep talking, but I've had arguments linking them to these menace, political office holders.
The truth is,
security chiefs.
The truth is, the way Nigeria is configured, oil theft, not like illegal mining in the north for gold and other sort of things, becomes inevitable. It is gradually receding, and it is giving room for all our primordial proclivities to come to the fore. That's why, for example, for a long time, the government was unable to curb what they describe as former hardest clashes, which now blossomed into full-time banditry and now terrorism. It's something with Boko Haram. The ideology behind Boko Haram was not tackled at all. It's not being tackled even now. And it has metamorphosed into something that is more dangerous than even the original Boko Haram. So it's something with Nigeria Delta militants. People in Nigeria Delta, they feel that they own this oil. And so there's nothing you can do about it.
Entitlement mentality.
You saw the show of force by outside the Kuba show. Nothing has happened to him. You saw a bandit kingpin going for to banning. Nothing has happened to him.
Only for the state government. So only for the state government to be praying to the gallery. When there was invitation, there was publicity before the debate. So
you can see that the state is receding gradually and heading down to those factors. With respect to this, it has become a national problem because that is where we get our major source of foreign exchange and the economy.
It's making the economy bleeding.
It's not just bleeding, the economy is fractured. It's going to take over gradually if this tendency continues. But that's something on the front page of Nation. I don't know if you saw it today. About the fact that, surprisingly and curiously, the federal government, NBC, has renewed surveillance contract, public surveillance contract.
Probably that's the last option they have for security.
So it tells you that
the
state could not
bring in.
So they have to now allow the warlords and others to come in and help. So we're now sharing authority and sovereignty in that part of the country with Nigeria warlords and militants.
I understand. And whenever someone come out to say, see, Nigeria is a failed state, the government of the day will say, no.
Now, this is why was this necessary? When they came, they canceled the contract. When you couldn't assert authority, you know why? You didn't extend good governance to Niger Delta. So to substitute what the Tompolos, the Nasado Kubos, the General Yamshagros, and Ogumbos, and all of that, what they have been doing for their people. You couldn't substitute it with good governance. So good healthcare, good infrastructure, good education, access to quality life, scholarships, and all. You couldn't do it in 7 years. So after 7 years, you have to go back. And a lot of injustices have been meted out to this people, particularly on the issue of the host communities funds in the PIA.
3%.
2.5%.
Okay, we did from 5 to 3 to 2.5%.
They
said 5% is too much.
The Nigerian people protested. You see, I recall what happened on the floor of the Senate, and I'm sorry to say this. People don't think. We don't think as well. Our bodies are not thinking. On the floor of the Senate, I saw Nigerian representatives and senators. Because they are in the minority.
Yeah.
Structurally disadvantaged.
I understand.
They came up, but their voices were drowned by more voices and louder voices.
Who don't understand the problem.
From the non-oil producing area.
Who don't know the problem, the extent of damage.
Who defended 30% for frontier exploration but will not yield even 5%.
It's already where we are getting it.
So you see, this will literally push people away from constituted authority towards the next that they know. And then we heard that on police want a meeting of all groups, including cultists, including chief priests, everybody, former generals, former commanders in their own army, everybody came together. He has assured them that the 4 billion plus that they will get every month for this contract, we're enough to appease the people. We have to restart back to that to see if oil theft can be stopped.
And another issue that has been politicized is the issue of the Ogoni cleanup.
Yes.
The Niger people are waiting for government to actually, work a promise. But then it has been politics. Since the day of Amina Mohammed, when she was Minister of Environment, now she's the UN Deputy Secretary General.
Not much progress has been made on that front.
Probably they want to use it to win election in 2019.
Well,
and now the cleanup has not been carried out.
So it's
money has been committed.
So when not to the people where they have no choice but to
resource to something else.
Have to surrender to their own and those that disrespect, those that they know that
they know state actors.
So that's the kind of situation we find ourselves now.
Oh, too bad.
Too bad.
All right, we need to move away from that because it's a very interesting topic. Let's talk about education as captured by the Blueprint newspaper this morning. On the front page of the Blueprint this morning, 6 months into strike, ASU adamant rejects miserly federal government new salary offer. ASU adamant rejects miserly federal government new salary offer. NASU, SANU, NAAT ready to suspend strike, according to the Minister of Education. Adamu Buhari opposed to paying salaries for work not done. And of course, the Vice Rider says federal government spends 6 trillion naira on education in the last 7 years. Where are the gains?
Where are the gains?
The Minister of Education yesterday, Adamu,
yes,
featured on a special briefing being organized by presidential communication team every week. And he tried to say, see, we have done this, we have done that. 6 trillion in 7 years, where are the gains? Then ASU is on strike, we say, see, ASU will have resumed, but because of the no work, no pay policy introduced by Buhari, ASU is against that and they are not resuming. I don't know.
The thing is, the minister sounded a bit combative, a bit hostile, if not, to the unions, and that should not be the case. You are government. You should be that big brother that can withstand pressure without losing your cool. You can't even lose your cool. The fact is, our universities are not what they are supposed to be, even by African standards. Secondly, our lecturers are not well paid. And so when the IPPS platform now deducts from their salaries
again
and makes what is already not so good to be, less than what it is, you don't expect them to sit down and just take it like that. After complaining several to you that we have,
and when they know what political office holders are earning.
In case you do not know, a professor at peak in Nigeria that has reached the highest bar earns 501,000 gross salary. 501 gross. And no professor takes home that amount because you're going to pay
taxes,
income tax on it. So averagely, a Nigerian professor takes home 350,000 naira per month.
The take-home pay cannot take him home.
350,000 per month. A professor. I'm not talking about other lecturers, professor. This is already bad enough. Now, UTAS will now start deducting this from this same. And when UTAS does not capture the peculiarities of each of these universities.
IPPIS.
Sorry, IPPIS deducts.
Yes.
So when IPPIS does not recognize or take into consideration the uniqueness of some of these universities, particularly when it comes to the cases of visiting lecturers that are sabbatical, they're going to have earn half of their salary in addition to what they are earning in their new place of assignment. It becomes a problem. It's their legitimate earnings. So they now design UTAS and say, look, UTAS can do the same job and accommodate some of these differences. Only God knows why government is unwilling to yield and say, okay, let's look at UTAS. If it is true, we can modify it into the payment platform. So it solves this problem. Believe you me, if UTAS is deployed today, ASU will call off strike.
Yeah, I think that's been the bone of contention.
That's the major bone of contention. The issue of revitalization.
Others can follow. Revitalization of the university.
ASU does not want to do that today. The major point of contention is UTAS
the payment platform.
in place.
Well, I think the government has yielded to that.
But
and even come out to say, well, it passed integrity test as against the government IBPIS.
Exactly. Was it not IBPIS that the former accountant general was
exploited to make
by the same government agency that's for the corruption? So why do you blame ASU? Is ASU supposed to actually be doing this? But in any case, if ASU is able to get the government to deploy UTAS in place of IBPIS, it will be imperative for them to call off the strike. The issue of revitalization is not even a battle for ASU to undertake. ASU should, for me, concentrate more on their own welfare now. Now, allow the political process to put this issue of educational revitalization fund at the front burner. So I think it's a political process that is aimed towards revitalizing our educational sector that can actually bring about this realization. This government is unable and cannot do this. This government has put Nigeria into a very deep debt hole that we cannot even crawl out of in the nearest future. I don't see where they're going to get that money from to do what they're asking them to do. It has become part of the failure of this government. So I think ASU, at this
to understand,
and ASU, let me tell you this, my frank opinion really. The 2023 election is one that every Nigerian should participate in.
It should be a defining moment.
ASU, NMA, all of that trades.
Mobilize members to
go and sit down with all the aspirants and have a deal on this matter.
No, I think they can lie. You know, this political season, you can
lie. No, but the truth is,
let's look at your antecedents. You cannot change antecedents.
Look at it, let them commit to it. Once you agree on some basics, mobilize your members to vote for that candidate. It's as simple as that. It's done all over the world.
If there is unity of purpose among them.
If you don't have unity of purpose, then why are you going on strike?
The matter you just brought up now is like the Labour Party matter, owned by the Labour Union.
Yes.
And there are Labour unions contesting election on the platform of APC somewhere. So
the problem, you are very right.
No ideology, there is no unity of purpose.
The problem there is the Labour Party candidate, whose responsibility it is to evolve a vision that begins to align members of the organized labor in Nigeria, both in the formal and informal sector, around a common ideological cause and pathway that they will all buy into, internalize, and begin to drive it organically. Unfortunately, Mr. PTB has not been able to do that up until this moment.
For me, he's a stranger in Labour Party.
And that is why you see, if can go to a place and
he went there to pick tickets.
And that is the worry I'm having. You see, he has a movement around him. But that movement right now is lacking substance and content.
Understanding of the whole.
You are running on Labour Party platform, but you are still a capitalist in orientation. I listened to him critically on one or two interviews on TV, and he talked, and it was asked the issue of subsidy, and he said he will remove subsidy, and that he would invest in healthcare and education, and this is at variance with what Labour stands for.
Okay.
Labour has said no, you have to fix refineries first before the government subsidy, which I completely
so that Nigeria will not be at the brunt
of it. As you have seen in this room. So he has not been able to evolve that vision that will now tie members of the labor organization beyond just these demands to a political movement that they now see as something that they own. So right now, people are still voting along tribal and religious lines, even as labor members. So if in your own locality, it's a piece that is relevant, you go to that place and run. If it's people that are relevant to your area, you go. Ordinarily, you should have done this. It's not difficult. It's about a vision.
It's understanding.
It's a vision. Once you do it, all Labour members will not change.
What we engage in Nigerian political system is power grabbing.
Only, and
nobody cares about ideology.
What makes me sad is this is supposed to be a third force, something different,
something
that people have embraced without necessarily being financially induced. And we're watching it, stagnant and they begin to wane because there's no content to it. There's no content.
For want of time, let's quickly go to the last paper on our menu this morning. The last but not the least, and that is the Daily Sun. Daily Sun is reporting insecurity today. Angry Buhari orders security agent to wipe out terrorists. Angry President Muhammadu Buhari orders security agents to wipe out terrorists. directs Humanitarian Affairs Ministry orders to ensure IDPs return unhindered. Well, President Muhammadu Buhari spoke yesterday in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, during a one-day official visit to commission project and also to flag up the World Humanitarian Day. But this is the issue. I don't know whether the son is right with this choice of word or not. Is actually President Muhammadu Buhari angry? Is he actually angry?
If he's angry,
7 years he has been condemning and condemning. Angry Buhari, other security agents to wipe out terrorists. Is the Buhari angry?
He's been excusing, he's been giving party.
I want to believe he is angry. He will have, borrowed leave from the late Chadian president, Idris Deby, who at a point in 2021 last year came out from his comfort zone at the presidential palace, adorned the military camouflage, and went to the battlefield.
The truth is, we are at war as a nation.
Deby was angry.
Deby was angry, and Deby showed anger.
Honestly.
Well, all I can say is, since the last time the terrorists encircled Abuja and came as close as Buhari, which is just a few kilometers from the presidential seat of power, and killed in the process officers and men of the presidential, of the Brigade of Guards command, and the outrage, the media, well, we need to commend the media for always putting this issue on the forefront. No matter how hard you try to suppress it by telling us to be responsible in our reporting. Now,
take national security into cognizance.
So, like I
Why
said,
they want to bury
like I said on TV, when this issue was said, the media is doing what is an advancement of national security by speaking out, by saying it as it is.
Calling you to action.
Calling to action. And when the National Assembly responded by issuing a notice of impeachment, we have seen the military and the president. We've seen some
marathon meetings.
We've seen some action. We'll be hearing news of clearance operation of terrorist camps in the forest, something that we have advocated for in the past 6 years. It's just been done now. We are seeing them invading, bombarding. In fact, we are being told that the Tucano jet that they said can the in the Northwest has been deployed to the Northwest. After we told them that it was you who told America that the terrorism in your country is in the Northwest. And they said, okay, don't against civilians or another form of conflict for terrorists. You tell them that Tucano jet cannot be used in the North Central and Northwest because terrorists have also moved to that place.
And apart from that, even the bandits, we are officially declared as terrorists.
So America is not holding. Let us stop blaming America for this. It's our decision. And when we decided to use Tucano jets, we started using it now. And we've not heard so much about attacks on communities. And I want to believe that if this tempo is sustained, maybe, just maybe, this thing will be history in the shortest time. But we hope that the president is angry enough, actually, to sustain the tempo.
The president is angry on us. All right, many thanks to our analyst, Majid Jahiru, an Abuja-based public affairs analyst who appeared on the show today. Many thanks to you, and we hope to see you next week, Friday again.
Thank you very much.
All right, do enjoy the rest of your day.
Very much.
All right, viewers, thank you for being with us thus far. We go on a short break. When I come back, I'll be speaking with Mohammed Goko, one of the officials of the PDP support group, PDP New Generation, on the preparedness of the party for the 2023 general election. Don't go away. I'll be back shortly.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters. Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters. Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Welcome back. It's still Inside Nigeria for this Friday morning, August 19, 2022. Like I said earlier, I'm being joined by Mohammed Amel Goko, spokesperson, National Strategic Committee of PDP New Generation. Goko, welcome, Mr. Goko.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Goko is the spokesperson of the National Strategic Committee of the PDP New Generation, a support political group within the Opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP. Now, the 2023 general election is fast approaching. Your group has made a lot of moves to make sure that it is part of this process and actually mobilize support for the opposition party to win the 2023 general election. Just last week, I saw in news that your group, appointed spokesperson for your Youth and Women Presidential Campaign Council that will take care of all candidates of the party, and you are the spokesperson for the campaign council in the Northeast geopolitical zone. So tell us about this campaign council and how much value you are going to add to the PDP in the 2023 general election.
You see, like we said, if you look at the 2019 general elections, we had a disparity between the older generation in the party and that of the youth. And we came up with this group to help the older generation in the PDP to serve as a support mechanism so that we can see how the Okowa ticket and Atiku Okowa ticket can get into the villa. So already, like you all know, that it's in due process that when there's a campaign, the PDP set up its own campaign council. The PDP New Generation as a support group too is following suit of a campaign council. It runs parallel to that of the PDP, but it works in synergy. So the campaign council is going to be set up, made up of 100 people, youth and strictly women, that will drive the Atiku Okowa ticket. But for the campaign council, just like His Excellency Alhaji Atiku Abubakar have appointed spokespersons, 2 spokespersons to the campaign council of the PDP New Generation to have appointed 6 people to drive its own message. I am representing Northeast, and my colleagues are representing their geopolitical zones here. So our main job actually is to tackle bad news, propaganda, and then promote our party and ticket. And we are focused on issue-based campaign, not mere slams or slander in any form.
All right, if I understand very well, your own youth and women campaign council is a shadow campaign council.
Yes.
That will work in synergy with the main campaign council of the party.
Yes.
Now, the main campaign council of the party has not been inaugurated, and campaign is about to start next month, September. What do you know about the delay? What's responsible for the delay by Atiku to actually inaugurate a campaign council for his presidential aspiration?
You see, when you're inaugurating a campaign council, it has to be it's not just Atiku that appoints the campaign council. The campaign council will be appointed by some people will be appointed by Atiku, others will be
input from different stakeholders.
Different people, stakeholders. So the gap you see, it's because we've realized that in 2019 there was a disparity because the campaign council was operating from the center. And now the main plan is to see how we can decentralize this campaign council so that we can be focused on those geopolitical zones. And I think the PDP is moving towards that direction. So we are trying to see how we can do something different from 2019 elections. And it's not something that you just wake up and do. You have to strategize. You have to see that the 2023 elections, it's going to be a very tough battle. So you need a lot of strategies. I think it is more important to wait and have the last share of the cake than just rush to have the piecemeal. So I think it's in order.
All right, so let's talk about your mode of operation. Let me start with funding, finance.
Yeah.
How are you going to get money to execute your plan for the PDP?
You see,
as a support group.
The most important thing is we launched an operation Rescue Nigeria, a team Reset Nigeria. The last 3 weeks, I think, or so.
Is that the one you call 0.2?
Yes, 2. Yeah, that was the 2.0.
2.0.
The National Strategic Committee launched its own unveiling ceremony of the team Reset Nigeria. Okay. And what we are trying to say is that the youths have so much, politics have so much been monetized to the extent that you feel you cannot do anything if you don't have money or support. But I feel that we've reached this stage without anybody giving us any kobo. So we are trying to see how we can fund ourselves, not necessarily getting money from people. If it means we go out to reach, if there's a tax we can handle and it means we go out to reach people, we will do. But our main tax is to connect to the people so that people see the Atiku or Kowa ticket as something they want to give, not rather than something they want to collect back. So I feel fund is not our problem. We are equal to the tax. The most important thing is let's be strategic in our duties and responsibilities. We will be good to go.
All right. Another mode of operation that we'll talk about apart from finance and funding is your strategy. How are you, since you say your mandate is to counter fake news and propaganda against the PDP? So what strategy are you going to adopt? Are you leveraging on the social media or the conventional media like us? Or what are your strategies to do this?
You see, I know many people have not observed, but the reason why we are here is if you look at the INEC new registration, it has recorded 12 million new registrants, additional registrants. And if you look at from 2019, the total registered votes in 2019 were 84 million. Now, plus 12 million, we've got a level of 96 million. But if you look at the history from 2011, the voter turnout, it was 65%. In 2015, the voter turnout was 45%. Declining. And then in 2019, the voter turnout is 35%. A total of 28 million or thereabout out of 86 million that registered voted. And there's a statistics that proves that in the election of 2023, there's a possibility that figure will go down. So the main task is for us now ahead is out of this 12 million, we've sat down and realized that about 8 million in that population are youth who got registered into the new party. That means they really want to engage in the system and the electoral process. And let me tell you, I know many people have not observed the 12 million, the numbers. Do you know that out of that 12 million, out of the 8 million youth, about 4.5 million, close to 5 million are students?
Okay.
And that means this is a heavy cash cow. With ASU Strike on board, we have a lot of work to do online and offline. Those who will tackle the online messaging are there, and those who tackle the offline messages are there. Grassroots mobilization is also in process. So once our campaign council come up with almost 100 people, before you know it, our structures from local government, ward level, unit level, state level, and the federal level, it's all viable. It's just for us to have a tip, and then it goes haywire. So I feel with these statistics, we are good to go. The PDP is ready, and the PDP new generation is always ready to take Atiku and Okowa to the villa by the grace of God.
All right, it's not as easy as you have just mentioned, taking Atiku Okowa to the villa in 2023, because we have a lot of hurdles to cross. Now, there is an intra-party crisis with the PDP. I don't know how much you know about that, between Atiku, Wike Cold War, and how much you also know danger it poses to your anticipated victory in 2023.
You see, the most important thing is, like I have said, crisis of vested interest. It's normal. For a political party like PDP, which is, if not the biggest party in Africa, it is one of the biggest. For crisis and vested interest, to have conflict of vested interest, is a normal day-to-day activities. The most important thing is how well can the party curb and then entertain those interests for the 2023 election. And I feel Atiku and His Excellency Alhaji Atiku and Governor Wike are trying so hard before the campaign starts in September to see how they can settle scores and move forward. It's a matter of interest, and once those interests are settled, the party will move forward. It is even important it is happening now rather than to happen when the campaign has already started. So I feel even the APC, there's a lot of crisis because people still are grumbling about the Muslim ticket. Likewise, the LP. So it is a normal thing in every political sector, even in your family.
To have disagreements.
Yeah, to have disagreements.
So what matters is the ability to resolve crisis.
That's what is important, and I feel we're up to the task because just yesterday I received the news that a delegation was sent to Port Harcourt to meet Governor Wike.
You'll be meeting Wike today, and that's the lead story as captured by the leadership newspaper.
You see, obviously.
But then, it's not easy. That we say suspense in PDP as Atiku Wike camps meet today. Anything can happen.
Obviously.
It may be, a make or ma outcome, but we wish the PDP the best of luck. Now, finally, Mr. Gonko, I know your group is committed to mobilizing women and youth to be part of the 2023 political process and in favor of the PDP, because that's why you are a support group within the PDP. And also, when searching, I saw that last week during the International Youth Day celebration, you organized a program attended by the PDP presidential candidate, former Vice President Atiku. But does it occur to you that the youth are the one involved in ballot box snatching, political thuggery, violence? They are the one being used.
Yes.
Do you also have a focus or a kind of a provision to make sure that you are not just mobilizing the youth to be part of the political process in favor of the PDP alone, but you're also mobilizing the youth and women to be useful to themselves and the society where they found themselves?
You see, the PDP new generation is doing something differently. Something differently in such a way that we want the youth to be part of this electoral process till the campaign, and then afterwards, if once Atiku come on board as the president by the grace of God, we want them to be active. And that's why when we met him, we said we need at least 40 to 50% commitment that powers will go to the youth. And he told us that he has started that already. If you look at the appointment, he appointed 4 SAs, all of them from the different religion and tribe in Nigeria, but all of them are youth. And he said, look, if you can compose yourself in such manner, I am ready to give you more than 50%. and I even can be a transitional president if it needs be. So our message now to do it is, as you can see, the 2023 election is coming back to the youth. We are the determinant if you look at the figures. So the easiest way for us is to preach that there are a lot of things we can do. We can join the process, and we can join all those what do they call election talk and everything.
So all the social vices.
Yes. So we've gone back to look at the 2019 election, and we realized that I can tell you categorically that with the results we have, Atiku, by the grace of God, after February will be declared the president, because we have the statistics, we have the numbers, we have the states. We've looked at it from 2019 to date, and I can furnish you with some if you want.
All right. Actually say finally earlier, but let me ask you again. Are you confident, or are you sure that Atiku actually has the ability to tackle some of the challenges facing this country presently? The educational challenges as exemplified or shown in the prolonged ASU strike. Can Atiku handle that? Insecurity. Can Atiku return the economy back to its track?
Just, the Atiku, if you look at the presidential candidate, you have Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you have Peter Obi. Atiku is the only person that has a documented blueprint for this nation, for his own campaign.
How do you know that?
There's the operation, the Atiku policy document. It's out there, and he has told you can look at it. On how to tackle education, he has done it before. If you go to his school in AU and American University of Nigeria, I think he gave the Chibok girls even scholarship. They have graduated. It's a World Bank Resource Center of Excellence. If it's insecurity, he has said it that look, the military and the police, the whole security architecture is understaffed. It's under motivated, and these are things you need to look at, because they are.
And he has something different to do when he takes over.
Yes, he has given it. He said the first one is employment, and the second one is to tackle lopsided appointment in the security architecture of the country. And I feel that if you go through the policy document, I would like to say there you can see everything you want about Atiku. Time will not permit, but I wanted us to
we actually run out of time.
Yes.
Many thanks to you, Mohammed Ahmed, GOVCO spokesperson, National Strategic Committee, PDP New Generation, a support group within the Opposition People's Democratic Party, and as well spokesperson, the Women and Youth Campaign Council of the Organization for the Northeast Geopolitical Zone.
Yeah.
We hope to see more of you whenever the need arises.
Thank you.
Thank you
much
for joining on the show this morning.
It's a pleasure.
All right, viewers, that's the size of the program this morning. Make a date with us next week, Monday, for a fresh edition. My name remains Badibo. Bye for now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.